Good afternoon. Preston here. Just doing a quick little live shot. Nothing special going on. Um, I sometimes get tired of face and Instadum, and so I come over here to YouTube, where it seems like this is all satire, where some of the adults hang out. So join me for a quick minute. I'm going to go, I'm gonna go through my M24 board real quick and just do a quick little tune up, nothing major. Here in a few weeks, I need to do a good breakdown of this board and get the grease refreshed in it. I know that second oil change on a car. I am working on, let me take you with me here for a second. I am working on my Tellum, which is another variant, another board from the EcoMobile family. And I have it all broken down here on my counter because I'm doing some exploratory maintenance on it. Also cleaning the hubs up because I have been around the country with it. I've done some events. I've done some jumping, some tough hills, and some other things. So I'm going through that, doing an inspection, kind of like an annual on, like, say if you fly, you would know on an airplane, you do the annual on the engine to make sure you don't fall out of the sky, right? Same thing with the boards, as I do the periodic maintenance checks and check wear patterns, make sure it's not going to seize up on me, and then I go bail. Bailing is not fun. I don't make a habit of it. Never will, never have, never will. Anyway, let me switch back around here. This is the M24. So we have the Tellum over there broken down. I have to wait. I've got to order a couple parts for that. And so today, this is my goat, my greatest board. Strong, a little bit dirty. I gotta clean that up a little bit, but it's strong. It's 4-wheel drive. I rip it in the sand, dirt, mud, mountains, rocks, boulders. I think I could consider I went bouldering with an EcoMobile board because I was going over, like, I'm talking some big old rocks, and this thing's, since with the 4-wheel drive, that's the nice thing about electric and having gear drives, is when it's in 4-wheel drive, just imagine like a Jeep or any other off-road, it articulates and it gets through, and that's what makes it fun. A lot of folks don't understand. They're like, why do you ride a board? There's a lot of fun stuff that happens when you ride these. But anyway, so today I need to go through here. As you can see, there's a little buildup. I'd rather have some buildup because that means that I have been putting a little bit of lubricant on the joints, so it will attract a little bit of the dirt and the sand. So just for today, I'm going on a leisure. I go on leisure rides, and I also go on harder, like, usually when I'm by myself, I'll push the limits, within reason. So today, though, I'm gonna go with a friend, and we're just gonna go on a leisure ride. So I'm gonna lubricate it up, get it all ready, and go out. Not sure. I'm not even sure I'm going to film today. I may not. I'm just out taking a break from some other projects I've been working on. Accomplished a really big project, which was my latest book release, "The War That Followed Me Home." It took me. That was about a year and a half of working on it, about 650 pages or something like that. It's a testament of an issue that happened to me. I'm not going to go into too much details. You can check it out. It's got audiobook on. It's on Amazon. It's on most of all the big book platforms, and then I have audiobook out on Spotify for those that I prefer. Like if I'm on a trip, to break out Spotify and throw on a good book. Might be a good travel book. I'm not sure, but I have been told it's a page turner. That's what I intended, and I kind of wrote it from the heart toward our veterans, because I am a veteran and I've been through some things. So I think the more we can peer into the transition from active duty out into the civilian sector and some of the challenges that arise that nobody is ready for, can't prepare yourself for it. They try to, the VA tries to, but there's just no way you can 100% prepare until you're in it. And I think once you know you're in it, you're going through it, to be able to, hopefully, if you read something, or sometimes I'll just hear something from another vet, I'm like, ooh, that's going to help me out with what I'm going through. So anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked on that. I didn't write it for the intent of mass production or bestseller or any of that. I wrote it as like a letter to the issues that happened. And also, if I help one veteran, or not even just vets, it can be anybody going through it, I'll be happy. So it's like 99 cents on Spotify. If you have an account on Spotify, it's free. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Anyway, so what I'm going to do today is I have some, let me switch it around here. I have some grease, some synthetic grease, Mobile One, full synthetic. Let's read it here. Wear protection. Look at the temperatures, okay? That's what I'm looking at. 246 Celsius, 47. That's way within anything that I'm gonna pull on joints, I would hope. If I get my links up to 475, got some issues. I'd be proud of that. But anyway, I speak Spanish. Is that French? Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna try. I kind of did a little bit of research on synthetics over just regular. It's called legacy grease, just like legacy skateboarding, the ones you have to kick. Anyway, I do have some lithium. Let's go look at. So there's a couple options I can go here. I don't want to get a big old dollop of grease on certain areas per se, because when I'm kicking up sand, I don't necessarily want a big old dollop of grease, because it's gonna attract like ants to honey or fly to cow manure. So I'm not sure that I want to get a big old greasy ball of sticky stuff in these areas that are going to be prone to dirt, sand. I'm not really, I've done it before. What I used previously was this. So penetrates liberty ascension. This is for chain. And I do use it on this, obviously, because it's got the chain. So I do use it on the chain here for that format. And I'm figuring for these links, it will serve the same function. Let's look at kind of what the description of it is. Semi-synthetic. Okay, so this is semi-synthetic. High performance motorcycle chains and sprockets. It is designed to penetrate deeply into the pins and bushing. The chains, you can read. Excellent rust. That's good. I need rust protection. That's good, because I do run these on the beach, and obviously you're going to get some salt exposure, just like the salts on the road. It'll eat your car undercarriage. Let's see. Leaves an anti-friction protection film on the chain. Does not fling off. So that's good to have something that doesn't fling off. Whereas if I get too much of that on there, it could fling off, and then it's going to get all over, and it's going to just like I said before, attract sand, and it's just going to be a mess. Nobody wants a mess. Film resists dust and sand, dirt contaminants, gum formation, suitable for chains including O-rings. Keeps O-rings moist and pliable and resist drying. For that little explanation, that seems like what the doctor ordered for my M24. I'm not going to, well, since this is, see how this, that's where the spring, that's the spring seat. So I might want to get some on there. I'm going to wait to go do a deep lube on this until I am committed. And I don't want to have two machines down in a row. So this, like I said, this is just a maintenance. I'm gonna hold on this. And what I'm gonna do is use this primarily for lubing inside here. See how that new grease, this is a new motor. But if you look here, that's an old motor. See the difference? Pretty drastic difference, right? Sad to say. This one needs a change. So once I get this, I got to do some work on this hub. So once I get the hub fixed, then I'll put a little bit more grease in there, just so I don't want to overdo it, because just like in a car, if you add too much oil, you're gonna put too much pressure on your seals and some of the carriage and stuff inside. So I don't want to over grease it, because then it won't have enough area to move, and then it could over pressurize if there's seals in the bearings. It just does bad things, does wonky things when you overfill stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and sideline that. I imagine perhaps, I don't know, I didn't think about this. Eventually, with these motors, perhaps they would put a grease zerk on it, I want to say, but it's always better to do a full flush than just add good grease over bad, obviously. But if you look at this machine, this has, you may not be able to see it. I'll see if I can zoom in. There's a little grease zerk. Well, if you're watching, if you don't know what a grease zerk is, it's where my grease gun would slip on that. Can't see it. The camera won't focus. See it? There you go. All right, so that's the grease zerk, and the grease gun goes right on the tip of it. And then what it'll do is fill this little grease box back up. So the purpose of that is this is going to automatically lose some grease as you run it. And then the purpose of adding new is just to fill over the back of it, because it's easier to just it kind of self-flushes it, if that makes sense. These, they don't, because they're self-contained. So it would be kind of neat if they could work in a zerk into those, but it's such a small, it's like they call it micro mobility for a reason. It's so small, and the engineering they're still working on it, I'm sure. And it would add weight. You know, 4 wheels, you add a zerk to every wheel, that's grams, but still, it all adds up. Just like if you look here, you know, you got all these linkages. You know, imagine if you lost you there. Imagine if you could get all these linkages made out of titanium, if titanium wasn't so stiff and breakable, or if you could make it out of carbon fiber and get it strong enough to where you're and some of these usernames. I'm gonna try to say it. And curve logs. I can't. Sorry, I tried. And then Kaylee Cook. Hello, how are you? Just going through a quick little maintenance on my board before I go out and hit the trail with a friend, just for kind of like imagine on a nice surfing day or a nice boating day. That's kind of what it's shaping up to look like. So I'm going to go to my favorite spots, and I'm going to see what we can get into. So anyway, let's continue on here. I would put you on the stand, but I think you'll get a better view. Well, maybe if I pull you around. Let me see if I can get you a good shot, good angle over here, and then I'll kind of. I'm not gonna bore you with the full maintenance of it, but I will show you kind of. For those that do have M24s or run any of these boards, it doesn't have to be just this brand. It's any brand. But if you do run these, you do want to periodically go in here and do a little squirtsy squirt. As Bob Ross would say, I don't know, what would Bob Ross say with his art? A little color here, a little dab here, a little dab there. Happy little mistakes. All right. So we have those two links greased up. We'll let that soak in. I'm actually since I read the description, I like what it says here at the very end. To me, this is super important for these applications, for micromobility or anything personally electric. By the way, I don't like the name that they gave these platforms. When I say they, that's the legislature here, especially here in Florida, decided to throw out the name micromobility. They're personal electric vehicles, people. They're not all small, obviously. I mean, if you want to call that micro, be my guest. So yeah, some things that we do in legislation absolutely don't make sense at all. But who am I to say? All right, so let's go ahead and grease this. Let's get a rag up here so I don't damage my beautiful workbench that's so clean, doesn't look like I ever do work on anything. Let's get that in there liberally. As Bob Ross would say, just splashed around a little bit. Won't hurt. And I'll wipe off the excess later so I don't attract, try not to say so much, right? So I don't attract too much sand or other adhesives and then have to clean up a mess when I get back. All right, there's that one, that one, that one. That one. Let's get this one. Sounds like my friend's here. So I'm gonna go ahead and thanks for joining me real quick. That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. So anyway, I gotta answer the door. You guys, I will see you later. Maybe I'll do a video. See you, bye.